Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your Mercury retrograde reading for the retrograde on November 9th to the 29th. You have this card. It says communication is key, obviously. You have this card. It says a win-win outcome is forecast, which is good. Again, this first row is going to represent the past cycle that you are dealing with during this Mercury retrograde. And so there definitely could be some sort of win-win. Again, this retrograde, the readings have been rather positive. Definitely like some typical, retrograde stuff going on, I would say. So, follow all the retrograde rules, be clear in your communication, double check anything before you sign it or anything like that. Get plenty of rest, drink plenty of water, take care of yourself, yada, 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 right? And if you do all those things, I think you'll be fine. But there definitely could be some sort of win-win. And again, the readings have been rather lucky. Now, what I will say is that we have this grand water trine that's happening this month. It's actually hitting at multiple points this month as well. And so the water trine is pretty lucky. And even though it's a retrograde, again, retrogrades don't stop things from happening. And, again, there could be a win-win coming in for you. Again, in your first row for the past cycle that you're dealing with, you have the Knight of Swords, the Seven of Wands, and the Page of Wands. The Knight of Swords, and this I'm pretty sure has come up for you recently here, Aries. The Knight of Swords, I feel like sometimes he gets to whatever the next card is in the reading, and then he's like running away back to the past, right? And so with the Five of Swords, this could say that you're going to be getting another opportunity to take some sort of risk that it looks like it could lead to the Ten of Pentacles over here, right here. And if you take the risk, I think you could have the Ten of Pentacles. But the Knight of Swords basically says don't run away from an opportunity that, could be a repeat opportunity. And retrogrades bring opportunities back to us. So if you're getting an opportunity that could be a little bit of a risk, I would take it. Of course, being a retrograde, Knight of Swords can represent jumping to conclusions. I always say Knight of Swords energy is the type of energy where someone tells you something and you get that, excited feeling in your body where you get all, you kind of like jump to a conclusion. And so if you have one of those moments or multiple moments like that this month for the rest of November, really, then I would slow down and just say, might not be true. Usually, Knight of Swords is like someone who rushes into your life and tells you something like, I heard everybody's getting fired, or, something crazy like that. And then you find out later it's not true. So don't get all excited by anything this month with the Knight of Swords. You have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. And I do feel especially next year when Saturn and Neptune move back into your sign by the end of February, I feel like you are going to be more convicted in your beliefs, like more sure of yourself. I feel like you're starting to feel this now. Like maybe you're starting to feel more sure of yourself and more certain of the way things are going. And I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm sure you still have those moments where you're not sure of what's going on. But you might find yourself being like, it's almost like you're caring less. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like I think this is a good thing. Where it's like, it's like maybe you used to care what people think about what you're doing, or maybe you used to care what your mom would think about what you're doing. And it's like now I feel like you're not caring as much. And it's not that you don't care, like I said, it's more like you're more confident or something, or you're starting to develop that confidence. We even end with the Queen of Wands, which the Queen of Wands, of course, can represent a certain level of confidence. You have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is about going on some sort of adventure and being optimistic and enthusiastic. Probably the best card for the time that we're in right now. The retrograde is happening in Sagittarius is all about adventure, being spontaneous, things like that. Page of Wands is about going on an adventure but not attaching an outcome. The easiest way to be successful at the Page of Wands is to practice non-attachment, saying, I'm going to go accomplish this goal and I'm not going to worry about how I get there. And if you can do that and not be too attached to the outcome, then things will go well. But if you need an outcome, like if you're saying, I need this to happen, then you're going to struggle, right? And so being more flexible and just saying, I'm just going to have fun. I'm just going to be down for the adventure. Then things will go well. With the Knight of Swords, you have the King of Wands. Yeah, no rushing, for sure, during this retrograde. It is happening in a fellow fire sign, Sagittarius. So, I think for you fire signs, taking your time, no speeding, no, no rushing around, no making, that's where you make mistakes with Mercury retrograde. I always tell myself to drive like a grandma during Mercury retrogrades, right? And you just don't need the problems, right? Plain and simple. If someone wants to cut you off, let them cut you off. Like, just let it happen, right? With the Seven of Wands, you have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is about carrying a heavy burden. There's definitely something about the time that we're in. I don't even think this is just the Mercury retrograde. I think there's a lot of things that are happening right now that are like, that are really kind of like putting weight on our shoulders. It's like, I think we can carry a lot of weight, but this is very Capricorn energy, and we had Pluto in Capricorn. This is kind of like a little part of what I think is going on. It's like we had Pluto in Capricorn for 20 years, the last 20 years, basically, from 2024 back. And, I think that energy, it made us like work hard. Pluto in Aquarius, I think, wants us to innovate on those things that we've been working hard. So it's like if you're carrying something on your shoulder, we'll use my camera here. It's like normally this, during Pluto in Capricorn, it's like, okay, I'm just going to carry this weight. But it's like now, if we're still carrying a weight, it's like imagine this pushing into my shoulder. It's like I'm really going to feel that pain right here. And that's like the best way that I can describe the Ten of Wands energy right now. Is it's not so much like what we're carrying. I think it's the digging in. It's that pressure, that we're basically feeling of the things that we're doing. And so it's like we're starting to feel that pain, if that makes sense. And so what we have to do is lighten the load. Ten of Wands can be other people's responsibilities, other people's obligations and things like that. So some of these obligations are good because some of them are his harvest that he needs to bring to his home right here. But some of those obligations might belong to other people. They might be other people's responsibilities or issues. And those are the things that we have to let go of. And also, if you're doing something that just isn't worth it, right? It's like if you're working on a project that's not going anywhere, if you're doing things day to day that just aren't going anywhere, those are the things we have to let go of. And again, you could be feeling that pressure during this retrograde. With the Page of Wands, you have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is like equal give and take. Six of Pentacles, I think, is trying to get you to move here, Aries, with the Page of Wands. Six of Pentacles wants us to plant seeds and wants us to start making progress. And if we do that, if we just start taking those small steps, eventually we will move forward. Next, sorry I covered up my list. We're going to look at what needs closer attention during this retrograde. You have the forces of nature favor you. You also have this card that says fate has blocked this path for you. So yes, Five of Swords, right? Five of Swords is like taking the risk, or it's like walking away from something. And so a lot of you might be realizing that something in your life, like I said, with that Ten of Wands, is just cutting into your shoulder. It's causing a bunch of pain. It's hurting your back, right? And maybe you're walking around like a grandma right now, Aries, because of the pain. And I feel like that is what you're probably letting go of with this energy. You have the Five of Swords, the King of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. The Five of Swords is about like walking away from something. A lot of people read it as like a separation, cutting something out, winning at all cost. And yeah, it can represent all those things. But, I feel for you, there's like some sort of risk that you have to take with that Knight of Swords to get to your Ten of Pentacles that's also showing up in this reading. And I feel that it's almost like a second chance something is coming back around here for you. And it could be like a risk to put yourself out there, a risk to get started on something, a risk to speak up as well. Like a lot of people are going to be taking the risk of speaking up at this time. Pluto and Aquarius, the risk we have to take is like the risk of saying something and being wrong, the risk of speaking up at work, the risk of sharing your mind, right? And so doing those things will move you forward the most. You have the King of Cups. People have had a lot of love in these readings, I would say, which is interesting. Like, yes, it's a Mercury retrograde. I think people should date during Mercury retrogrades because, again, if you meet a person during retrograde, it's like they're going to show you their true colors a lot faster. They're going to make a mistake right away. And so instead of like dating a person for a year, it's like you only have to date them for a month if they're going to suck, right? So it's like, I don't know about you, but I think wasting a month instead of a year is a lot better. And so I think it's perfectly fine to date during retrogrades. And again, what's meant for you is the universe isn't going to stop something from working. I always say it's like ridiculous to me when I hear people say don't do things during retrogrades. It's like the astrology isn't going to stop something that's meant for you because it's a retrograde. Absolutely not. So, again, if something's meant for you, it doesn't matter if Mercury's in retrograde, doesn't matter if your mom is in retrograde, I don't care. I would still go on the date because if it's meant for you, it's meant for you. But I feel like that could be a person. You have the Knight of Cups, which is a knight in shining armor. Definitely could be attracting a person at this time. This is about being swept off your feet. Now, one other thing that I will say is you have 3 cards here that are standing out to me. Knight of Cups, King of Cups, Seven of Cups. This would be about your emotions and how you feel about accomplishing some sort of dream. All your readings this year, Aries, have kind of been about a dream or manifesting a dream or working on a dream like a lot of your readings have. The King of Cups has very deep emotions, and so he is trusting like where his emotions are guiding him to. The Seven of Cups is the dream. The Knight of Cups is dreamy. He just needs to plant seeds in front of this water here, and they will grow. So it's literally saying that it doesn't matter what's going on. If you take the steps necessary to make something successful, it will be successful. Plain and simple. You don't have to worry about the retrograde, right? With the Five of Swords, you have the High Priestess. Yeah, we're in a very intuitive time. A lot of people have had messages about intuition and really taking the time, like to meditate or write down your dreams or do something to, like for me, it's going for a walk, right? That's where I get a lot of my messages. So, whatever it is for you, I would be doing something to listen to your dreams. The other thing I would say is I think it is an amazing time to dig into a mystery. This year we had Pluto go retrograde in May, and it just went direct recently. But we're still in the shadow of the Pluto retrograde. We have Mercury going retrograde. Both of these energies are very good to getting to the bottom of something. It's like if you are looking for an answer, if you're trying to figure something out, like now is the time to explore a mystery. And the High Priestess, she has this tapestry behind her here, and we don't know what is behind her. We don't know. It's a mystery. So she has to dig into mystery. She has to, if something is mysterious to her, she has to figure it out. With the King of Cups, here you go. Two of Cups definitely could be a perfect match coming in for you. So if you're looking for love, could be a new person. This person probably is very different than your usual type. Two of Cups usually is. Two of Cups usually starts with communication. We have this staff right here, which is a staff of Hermes, which represents communication, because Hermes is Mercury, and it's Mercury retrograde. You could be meeting this person during the Mercury retrograde. You don't even have to date them during the retrograde. It's like maybe you just meet them right now and you date them in the future, right? And maybe you just are talking to them right now as a friend or something like that. So, again, it doesn't even say you have to marry this person right now. But definitely could be a perfect match. I do feel like this person is very different, literally. I think you will say that, if you're meeting a person right now, I think you will be like, this person is different. And, there could be a lot of differences. It kind of gives me the feelings of people might be like, what are you doing with this person? But again, it could be a little bit of a mystery. It's like maybe, I don't really have any good examples, but, it's like sometimes I think we meet a person and they just aren't, bragging. It's like a person who doesn't put everything out into the world. They're not sharing their business all over the place. So it's like people in the outside world might see this person one way, but really they're like something much different, which is probably freaking good. So there you go. I also just noticed we have the King and Queen of Wands. So, again, if you want love, looks really, really good. This could also be a business connection I'm getting here as well, Aries. So if you're looking for help in business or work, could be very good. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Hermit. I'm telling you right now, and I call people like this sleepers, right? It's like a sleeper energy, not as in they're sleeping all the time, but as in they just, I think this is a person who isn't, putting their stuff out all over the place. Like a Batman type energy is what I would say. It's like they're secretly a rich person or secretly very successful, but they just don't put it out everywhere. You have the Hermit twice here as well. So again, this could be a person who also is kind of like more behind the scenes. Maybe they're, more of an introvert or something like that. But, whatever it is, Libra, or Aries, sorry, it could be a Libra because I just said it. Whatever this is for you, I think is going to be a good thing for sure. The Hermit also could say that you need to shine bright or you need to put yourself out there more. In your next row for the hidden message from this Mercury retrograde, you can't make this up. I didn't even see this. You have this card. It says Libra on it. It says balance. So it could be a Libra. It could be any sign that's coming in for you, Aries. You have the Sun card. It says source on it. Yeah, I really feel with the Hermit twice as well that the sun is shining on you, Aries. Like the Hermit. The thing about the Hermit, we're going to skip forward to the Hermit before I keep babbling and stuttering. You have the Hermit, right? So the Hermit has his light inside his lantern here, and he has earned the right to shine that inner light. I always say this isn't accurate tarot, but I think of the Hermit as needing to come down from the mountain. He's earned his right. He's learned a lot. He's been through a dark night of the soul, and his next step should be to come down from the mountain and show the world what he's made of, or to, show the world what makes him special. And with that Sun card, I definitely feel like the light is shining on you, and you need to come down from the mountain and shine your inner light. Also, make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out here, Aries. But you start here with the Seven of Cups, the Hermit, and the Four of Cups. Seven of Cups is your dream all year, all 2025. Your readings in particular, Aries, have been about your dream or some sort of dream that you have. And the Seven of Cups is like all the good things and bad things that could happen if you accomplish this dream. And this is very much a Neptune and Pisces energy. And, being your 12th house, it can be a little bit more tricky, I think, because Neptune in Pisces for you, it wants to hide. It wants to be in hermit mode. And, I think it's time for you to unleash the beast here, Aries, and really put yourself out there in a bigger way. Especially if there's a dream or something you want to accomplish. It's almost encouraging you to be a little bit more aggressive in how you kind of put yourself out there. Again, same thing with the Hermit. Like I said, I think you've been through enough in life where you've learned enough lessons. You've learned what's good and bad for you. You've learned, what can make you successful and all that other stuff. So I really feel it's time to put yourself out there. You have the Four Cups. Four Cups is like the fear of disappointment. He has these 3 cups here. He's tried to manifest something 3 times before, and he's getting another opportunity, but he's fearing that if he accepts it into his life, it's going to go the same way that all the past opportunities went. And that's basically what we said at the beginning of the reading with the Knight of Swords and the Five of Swords right next to each other there. It seems to me like you're taking some sort of risk again, or you're trying something again. Could be love. I think for a lot of you, it could be everything, or it could have something to do with the big picture. The reason I say that is because of the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. So the second chance opportunity that is coming in for you probably is a big picture thing. It's something that will affect your whole life. Getting a new job, starting a new business, getting into a relationship with a person you could marry or something like that. With the Seven of Cups, we'll take both. You have the Eight of Swords and the Moon card here. The Eight of Swords is about needing to realize there's more than one way to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. She only sees one way of doing things when there are many. The Moon is about just doing it. The Moon is part of the Fool's journey. He has to get to those mountains in the background. And, the Moon is, like I said, it is that uncertainty. It is not knowing what to do, which is Neptune and Pisces. With Neptune and Pisces, we probably don't know what to do. And really what we have to do is just take steps towards the goal. Because eventually the moon goes down and the sun comes up and we get clarity on what we're supposed to do. So, I think this is about taking the risk. With the Hermit, you have the Ace of Cups. Definitely could be love here. Again, this might be one of those things where you're wondering how is this person single? But it's maybe they have been in hermit mode for a long time. Maybe they have been, keeping themselves behind the scenes, or, they haven't been really putting themselves out there that much. So, it kind of makes sense. And the Ace of Cups is a really solid love offer. So, again, not telling you what to do. I'm not saying you have to like commit to this person right now. But I think, if you're meeting a person, talking to them or whatever would be perfectly fine. The Ace of Cups is also about doing more of what you love. And I think everybody should do that right now. We have to. And if you do more of the things that cause you to overflow, things will get better. With the Four of Cups, you have the Queen of Wands. Yeah, I really feel the Queen of Wands is encouraging that confidence. Again, if you're getting like a second chance opportunity, it seems to me like you're getting an opportunity based off of something that you've done multiple times in the past. And it's like maybe you're feeling motivated to try something again. The Queen of Wands, there really is no good answer with the Queen of Wands. She is my card of learning as you go. So you have to kind of like grab on to the opportunity. And the card itself basically says you will figure it out as you move forward. And that's what I would do with this card. Next, we're going to look at how to move forward at this time during this Mercury retrograde. You have this long road. It says great distance, long wait, patience, slow growth, development, pathway, long-term planning, nature, and years. You have this disconnection card that says detached, alienated, indifference, reluctance, no interest, dissatisfied, missed opportunities, and self-absorbed. I actually think this is good for you because this card said detached, right? I feel the best thing for you with that Page of Wands would be to, again, it doesn't mean you're detached, right? It just means that whatever you're trying to accomplish right now, just having no assumptions, just saying, I'm just going to do this and I'm going to see what happens. I think, this is saying that having that attitude will make you successful. We have Saturn moving into your sign at the end of February next year. And so, again, the thing about Saturn and Aries is picking something that could take a long time to build and sticking to it. And if you do that, you will build long-term success. I know people don't like to hear that. Like, trust me, if I got on here and every single reading I said, oh, here's an easy button that you can just hit, and if you hit it, then you'll be a billionaire. Like, I'm sure I would get a lot more views. But, it's just not the truth right now. Again, it's like right now, and we have Uranus retrograding into Taurus. It's like Uranus and Taurus is long-term freedom. We have to work on things that have a solid foundation that take time to build. Now, if you do that, again, it's not going to take forever for you to get a result. You'll probably get results much faster than you think, but, you have to commit to it. And that's what I would do here. You have the Ten of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the Six of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire. Again, everybody, because of Uranus retrograding into Taurus, everybody is being triggered to build and leave a legacy right now. Again, we have to just like pick something that is part of our big vision for our life, and we have to work towards it. And if we do, we could eventually get to the Ten of Pentacles. And, I encourage everyone basically to do this right now. I have been all of 2024, 2025. It's the best thing we can do. And it's not necessarily easy. But unfortunately for you, I'm an Aquarius rising. I'm a hard ass Aquarius rising. I'm never going to encourage people to do what is easy necessarily, unless it's a really good thing, right? But, I just know that easy isn't always the answer. Sometimes hard work or sometimes putting in effort into something is much more rewarding than just something you just get, right? So that is the Ten of Pentacles. You have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really making things happen. Like I said, she kind of marches to the beat of her own drum. She does her own thing. I think with the Hermit as well, this is encouraging you to really step into your own light and live your life how you should be living it. And if you do that, you'll probably be successful. This sunflower right here points towards the sun. And so the sunflower basically says she really follows her joy, her happiness, her bliss, things that make her feel that way. And if you do that right now, it will lead to success. You have the Six of Pentacles again. Yeah, I think you have so much Libra energy here. It is your opposite sign, of course, Aries, but you have two oracle cards that say Libra on them. The first one was the full moon in Libra, and you have the Libra card. And then you have the Six of Pentacles twice, which is kind of Libra, because, we have this scale right here. I feel like this is encouraging you to pay attention to what is working, what's not working. Pay attention to things that give energy back to you. And the more of those things you do, the better, Aries. Here you go. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Four of Wands. You could definitely be meeting a person that you will marry in the future. I'm not saying like right now, but I don't know. Looks like a very good love reading. Even the Ten of Pentacles is the best love card in the deck. It's everything you want and desire. So it could be a very strong connection. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Hangman. Yes, everybody for the next until 2033 is going to get the Hangman. Again, this right here is the secret sauce for everyone between now and the end of 2020, basically the beginning of 2033. Anything we can do, like finding new perspectives, is the secret. We have Uranus and Gemini until that time, until 2033. We have Chiron. Chiron as well. Chiron changes signs in 2033, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or it might be 2026. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, we have some big changes coming. And what I would say here is, especially with that Uranus energy, kind of like looking for new perspectives. If you've been working the same way on the same project for the past 10 years, it's time to find a new approach. If you work with new approaches, you will be very successful. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Cups. Again, really good love cards in this reading. So if you want a family, could be a person that you'll have a family with. But just in general, the Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty. Happy home, happy family. So, really good stuff here. Can't make this up. You have this card that says marriage on it. So, there you go, Aries. If you're looking for love, definitely could be a person you'll marry. I also feel for all of you that this could be like things coming full circle. Like I said, this retrograde seems amazing for answers or like getting to the bottom of something. So, you could be getting a lot of answers at this time. You have this hat. It says you will be playing a different role. I think you've had this card with me several times in the past. So, and a lot of your readings talk about leveling up. This one, not so much, but, you have this card here. So there could be an opportunity for you to like level up in work or in life in general. Can't make this one up either, Aries. This says heart on it. It says love, deep affection, and caring. So, could be a really solid connection if you're attracting love. Like I said, astrology is not a prison sentence. Even though most astrologers say don't date during retrograde, it's like, well, like who cares is what I would say. If you want to follow those rules, then whatever. But, if you're smart and you just pay attention, you'll be perfectly fine. You have this cracked cup card that says dissatisfaction with life. I always say I really like this card. Sometimes I think we need to feel dissatisfied to make a change, right? And so, yeah, it could be a little bit of dissatisfaction, but, that dissatisfaction could be the thing that makes you move. So, there you go. You have this haystack card that says karma, you will reap what you have sown. Yeah, Mercury retrograde can absolutely bring back, like, positive karma or positive changes. So, I think this is, like, positive karma coming in for you. But this looks really good, Aries. I love this. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out. And definitely enjoy your month.